Hi, welcome back to another segment here of Veterans Did You Know? Dave Eling with the County Department of Veterans Affairs, and with me today is my special guest is Dr. Dennis Cobbler. Dennis was an optometrist here in Muskegon and with the Lions Club, and we've been talking for, if you had missed these previous segments, you want to go back and catch the first one, because we kind of build them as we go along here, and we've covered many topic areas. And I think Dennis, if you earlier talked about in the 1980s, mid-80s there, was instrumental in with Chapter 31 of Veitnam Vets of America, is reaching out for the Veitnam vet that was kind of lost along the way there, and putting in place some services and programs that help those vets with education, with jobs, with getting treatment, how to access the VA, and start facing some of the problems. You know, I think when most vets came back, Dennis, in this community especially, you could go to any shop you wanted to basically and find a job someplace, and so a lot of vets just did that. They just came back and got a job and they went to work, and healthcare coverage there back those days was pretty good coverage, shop coverages, so they just didn't think about their veterans benefits and what was going on with them, and many of them had post-traumatic stress, never dealt with it other than self-medicating, and didn't know who to ask or whatever else until the vets started hooking up with vets and, you know, going to like especially Chapter 31, and guys come in and start talking stories and conditions, what's going on in their world and their life. They say, geez, I'm not the only guy out there with this. You guys had that too, and what are you doing? And that spawned looking out for each other like we did in the military, and started putting into place the service and programs that they needed. You know, reach out and grab a hold of them and say, come on in, you know, we're going to get you the help that you need. And if the help wasn't there, we actually built the programs for it and went out to find the experts and got them to come in, and it's been a long haul. It's been October here in Muskegon was, Veterans Day of 1990 when we opened the Vet Service Center up, and so we're going on our 21st year here of doing this, and it's been a long haul that we made a difference in a lot of vets' lives. And along the way, we're working on the Veterans Park. We've talked about that, the Vets Park, and the Lions Club marrying up with the vets and making things happen. And we put our little appeal there. To those of you who are watching this, if you want to help out and don't know what to do or where to go, we give you some good numbers there. You call the Vet Center or call the Lions Club. And I think probably the big thing too is what we've worked so hard for was to put this clinic in place, this Vet Center, where the vets could come and get the help they need. But it's only as good as the vets that walk in the door to ask for the help. If the vets don't come in, there's no reason for be here, because you don't utilize it. You don't use it, you lose it. And so I think that's why it's important for us older vets, especially these young kids coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan, and they're running about the same rate as a Vietnam vet, like 1 out of 3 post-traumatic stress. And with us guys, it was exposure to Agent Orange with our nemesis and all the conditions that have manifested themselves from that. And these kids, it's the traumatic brain injuries from these IEDs, the explosive devices. And unfortunately, when it's a mental health issue, most vets don't want to think that they got that they can't handle it. I'm strong, I'm tough, I can handle this stuff, and well, you can't. You know, sooner or later it's going to get you. So you need to come in. Or if you're a vet out there and you're older and you've experienced this stuff and you see this happening with another vet, then it's your responsibility as a fellow vet. Say, hey, come on, I know we can get some help. Let's get you in here and do it. Because a lot of guys have spent a lot of the years of their lives putting this stuff together here to make it better for all generations of veterans. And these are our kids now that are there, maybe some even grandkids. I need to say, probably getting close to that maybe, but so we don't want to think that what we did was for naught, because it took a lot. I mean, when you look back, that's long years. That's another whole career. Man, we could have stayed in the military and retired another time.
That's right. For a long time ago.
We did this. So, what do you like to say, Dennis, with the Lions Club and meeting and getting hooked up, and what do you see the biggest needs when you're out there in the community?
Well, we can only deal with, we all try to bite off what we can do. The Vet Center is kind of all-inclusive. The Lions, quite honestly, we're looking more at eye care, providing glasses to those who can't afford it. Hearing aids, we have an affordable hearing aid program that we deal with. And I can't speak for all Lions, but I'll speak for ours. We do a lot of community activity programs to benefit the community. Last year in the fall, we laid approximately 800 feet of sidewalk out in Mullally Park, out to the Ball Diamonds, and we're finishing that up this afternoon. And we'll be pouring cement this week to finish all the pads because we want the grandparents to be able to go out and see their grandkids. And it's very sandy soil, like a lot of West Michigan. So we got all these sidewalks out there, and we're hoping next spring, when the first ball is thrown out, that we'll have a handicap accessibility day and see if we can't get a whole bunch of people in wheelchairs out there. Just come out and enjoy the day, and it's a beautiful park, but that's part of what we're doing. Our club does anywhere from 8 to 12 handicap ramps at individual houses through Love Incorporated. They provide all the materials, and we do all the manpower. Matter of fact, we just finished one up this morning, our 8th one this year. So Lions, really, even though we have specific ideas what we want to do, we're open to every community need. And it was mentioned earlier in one of the programs that a lot of our Lions Club members are veterans. I think probably 70–80% of our male members
when I came out and spoke to the group,
they're all vets.
Vets here and stood up, yeah.
And we got them even, our oldest member was a Purple Heart recipient at the Battle of the Bulge. So Lions go from 18 to death.
Yep.
And
Lions don't die; they just fade away.
No, that's what we look for. We're looking for people who are committed to the community, that will join an organization as a lifer.
Yep.
And that's our service to the community.
And no matter what age you are, I don't care if you're retired now or you're in your 60s, you can make a difference.
Oh, absolutely.
One person can make a difference with an idea or suggestion, or maybe you don't have the body, the physical strength to do that, but your manpower or your connections. You know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and that's a lot of, I think too, when you think all the stuff that the Lions Club does. How many pancake breakfasts have you guys done? I mean, holy schmoly.
Well, we do quite a few. The real pancake champs in this community is the Muskegon Host Club. They really crank out the pancakes. We're kind of interlopers, but we do have a traveling pancake wagon that they don't have. So
you can take your act on the road.
Yeah, pancake on wheels. But no, it's friendly rivalry. We like to josh with the other Lions clubs. We like to, Rotary is fair game to any Lions Club member. We like to josh with them. But the truth be known, any service organization, regardless of how big or how small, really benefit the community. So, we kid the Rotary, but the Rotary is very valuable to Muskegon and the Muskegon area. And
well, look at what we did in the military. I mean, if you're in the Army or the Navy, whatever branch, you would razz the other branch about what they didn't do, and who did what. But then when push come to shove, it was the United States military. I mean, you would stand a Coast Guard, the U.S. Army, and the Navy, and the Marine Corps, and the Air Force guys all together. They're fighting the same fight. Don't mess with them, But after that, we can josh between each other and kid around. So that's what keeps things going. That's what keeps it.
Yeah, I would never sit here talking to an Air Force guy and saying the Army was #1, even though there's no question that they are.
And we appreciated that. It was always the fact that when the Air Force guys, they said, we're so happy you guys jumped in there and went in there and built the airstrips for us and put the nice buildings up and put the pools in and the club so we could come on in and do our little thing. Always appreciated the heck out of that stuff. And they were always right there when we needed them. Tote that stuff. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about.
Our last year's president of Lions International was flew Air Force jet or Navy jets off of a carrier. So he did 2 tours in Vietnam. So, but he came home at night to a pretty nice bivouac area.
Yeah.
So, aboard the carrier, but he risked life and limb flying over North Vietnam. But like you said, everybody has
part to play.
And I always tell everybody that was my service in Vietnam. I was just a little tiny clog in the big green machine. I was not a war hero, never intended to be, never wanted to be, but I did serve my country. I served it proudly. We talk about some of the problems with Veitnam vets. I never felt that way. If people didn't like my service in Vietnam, they knew what they could do with it, because I was I'm still proud. I'm proud American, proud Lion, proud veteran, and you just keep going.
And I'm proud to know you personally, and I'm really glad that you hired me 20-something years ago, and that the jury's still out on that.
That's
right. We got to do with stuff. So
your annual review is coming up.
Another annual review is due stuff, but I appreciate, Dennis, all that you've done for the vets in this community. And you are one of the unsung heroes because you keep such a low profile on that, and the job just gets done. But those of us who know, and the vets know that this man right here made a lot of stuff happen and got a lot of programs going down the road there that wouldn't have been there if you hadn't been there. So I thank you very much for your service.
Thanks for the invite, Dave.
Yep, and
appreciate it.
On the show. So you can tune back in here and rewatch this thing. And we're going to be on YouTube, and we're all over the place. And we have our own website, MuskegonVeterans.com, www.MuskegonVeterans.com. And these videos are out there, and all the information and links that you'd ever want to know. So if you're computer savvy, or you can get on there, do it. Or come on down and see us here at the Vet Center down on 165 East Apple, or call the Lions Club, or call the vets. If you get any questions about anything we talked about, we'd be happy to fill you in. So make today a great one, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.